Hello, everybody. My name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian Fishing for Float Fishing episode or series. Today, I'm back over here at Old Burg. I wanted to go bream fishing. You may see I have one fish in the catch net here. It's a worthless roach, so you really haven't missed much. It's a few minutes before bream time. So I'm over here at 5635. I've got a clip of 13 on the bottom rod, 10 on the bolo rod. And right now I've got that out on night crawlers. So I was just seeing if I could catch something there. I do want to go ahead and switch over to garlic dough. And we'll cast that out as far as we can. Both the fellow stick and the bolo rod are at a depth of 1 meter. We'll see what we can do here. We're just getting into bream time anyway. So, hoping to catch some good fish here. It's been a good day for me fishing already. If you haven't seen my spin fishing episodes, we pull in a trophy over there today that was completely unexpected and a little bit of a struggle. So, it was a lot of fun. So, if you haven't watched that, please go watch that. There's a link to the playlist below. It would be episode 28 if you're watching this in the future. And I may link directly to that episode as well too. What happened surprised me. Right now I've got a weekly US record for a pretty large fish on pretty small equipment. So surprisingly enough, that character is actually a higher level than this one. It's level 16, but it's using similar reels to what we have on this. So been a lot of fun over there too. Garlic dough on them. Good. Just wanted to make sure I had the right bait on everything. I'm a little bit tired today. Been a bit of a long day. Had to help my mom to a medical appointment today, so it's maybe a bit of a shorter episode. It's almost 9 o'clock my time. And first fish of the day here. Doesn't feel like anything super amazing, but it's a decent bream. 1.4 kilo bream. That's what we're looking for. I did not look at the cafe orders or anything like that. I just wanted to go bream fish. We were getting a nibble here. Stopped when I picked up the rod. Now I had the reel closed. Did not mean for that. So when I picked the rod up here, I probably moved the float and scared whatever is biting it off. That's unfortunate. I actually was coming over this general vicinity before I even looked at VK. I was looking at the VK site, and this spot showed up with a couple of trophy breams. So hopefully today turns out to be a good day. We could use the silver on this account. Making sure I remember correctly that we were kind of low. And I did have to spend, I think it's 8 silver to come back here. Yep, 7.9 silver. A little bit slower than I was hoping for so far. YMCA is definitely on it, though. Mess the bite up here. I'm going to recast this. Let's recast everything to be safe. Yesterday's episode over at Winding seemed to actually do pretty decent, so appreciate everyone who watched that. Honestly, bolo fishing here probably doesn't make as much sense, but with this being a float fishing account, I think it's what I should be doing. I honestly should get some fluorocarbon line for this rod. That may be our next purchase. I apologize for any snoring sounds that make it through. Someone had to stay home alone for 4 hours today, and a bit worn out because of that. He's not a fan of being home alone. Actually, somehow pulled the comforter completely off the bed and into his dog crate. Proceeded to shred it. YMCA with another good bream. I don't like how that was. Oh, that looks a little better to me. I don't like when there's that much tension on the bottom rods. It seems like that limits the bite. Almost like you've hooked the ground or something like that. $38.7 on bait harvesting there with the worm dig. Started off quick here, but man, I'm tempted to work up bait harvesting, but I think ground bait, but pretty sure, yeah, we've got a ways to go. I think bream ground bait needs 30%. This one's not a bad bream either. 1.8 kilo bream. Did I switch the hook on this one? Yes. Switch the hook on the bolo rod. Yes. Just had that thought that I left them on size 20 hooks. ISLQ there with a couple of D. Or a decent one. Oh, fishy fish. Game heard. Maybe. The nibble on the bottom rod as I was saying that. Curious if I can go a little deeper. Float rods. I can. Definitely want to. Dog's laying upside down, put his paws on where I keep the remotes, and almost turned off my external monitor. This is a good bream here. .8 kilo bream. Bad. .1 kilo bream. First bream we've caught on Bolo. I don't know if you saw, but the way I knew there was a fish on both of those was the float actually went flat on the water. Bream tend to push the float upwards instead of pulling it down. Basically, the float was a 90-degree angle from where it is now. That told me there was a fish on. Like that. Ooh, big fish. One might be over 2 kilos. 2.499. Wow. That might be a weekly telestick record. Third place. In the United States, that is. But I'll take it. Ballistic trophies are always so delayed. It's interesting because I got a spin fishing weekly record on my other account. It showed up before I even realized. Granted, that was a surprise fish, so probably took me 30 seconds to even get out of the window. There it is. Weekly record bream, 2.499 kilo stick. Always digging for worms where we can. I'm not sure what I'm going to do after bream time. I may go over to our green heart and go carp fishing for a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say every bream I thought had been a marker. Today was definitely a good day for bream fishing. Always could be better, but I'll take what we get. Would love 2 or 3 more good sized breams. Binocular zoomed in, digging worms right by the ground. Wanted to look at the bottom rod there to see if the line had gone slack or anything like that since I hadn't heard it in a few. But nope. So Quarry Lake unlocks at 16, level 16. We're still 22,000, just shy of 22,000 experience points away from that. I honestly haven't done a lot of float fishing. I'm going to have to look into that and see if we're going to go there or not. And then Bear unlocks at 18. We will definitely go float fishing at Bear. Another good one here. 1.9. That might be another Telestick weekly record. Granted, it is Monday night here, folks, so it is early in the week. I did just realize, or was looking up at another screen, and it does look like there is a reboot and patch that will have already happened by the time this video comes out. So, not really sure what's going to be in there. We'll take a look at the patch notes tomorrow. There's still a fish on there? There is. Mall. What are you? You're not a white. You're bream. Actually, didn't think that was a bream, to be honest. Unlock reel there. That way, especially with how long that rod is, I can pick it up without disrupting a potential bite. Or be less likely to interrupt a bite. Oh, come on. That float was popped all the way up, game. There was a fish on there. Ah, did it again. Float popped all the way up. Should have been a fish on. That time I didn't lock the reel before I set the rod down. Still have about 4 hours of bream time left. And honestly, some of the peak bream time is coming up too, usually. Me. Seeing the bolo rod starting to get nibbled. And there, because I hadn't locked the reel, I was able to pick the rod up and not affect the bite, but then when I was positive there was a bite on, evidently there wasn't. That's frustrating. Then missed one over there while I was resetting. It went perpendicular with the water. By the time I realized it, fish had already let go. Still have about 3 hours of bream time. Hasn't been the best. I mean, 7 marker bream hasn't been horrible, but hasn't been the best day either. I may trying to decide if I want to go to the bridge or to the Green Heart or carp fishing. Right now I'm leaning towards the bridge because we're a little bit closer to the. That was interesting. Pressed R a couple times, there wasn't a fish on, and I pressed it one more time than I thought I had, was sitting the rod down and told me there was a fish on. 1.6 kilo bream. When I say the bridge, I'm talking right down here where I think I'm gonna go carp fishing. I'll probably put the bolo rod away for that though, just because it's gonna be so close. in that we don't need the length of the bolo rod or the casting of it. I am happy that I bought the longer. Don't get me wrong. I think we just go back to the walrus sticks. See if we can't pull out a couple of true trophy crucians or a trophy crucian. Although 8 trophy bream isn't bad, or 8 marker bream can make this a profitable. Maybe 9 if whatever that was gets back on. May have screwed it up because it's kind of a tight line there when I picked. Saw the line had gone completely slack, but not a fish on. Usually about 10 a.m. is the end of bream time, so I'll probably stay here till then. Did I actually get that second telescopic weekly bream? Nope. 1.9392. Just short. At least the wind's pretty decent today. Looks like it would be a couple of good days of fishing here. Oh, there was a fish on there even when I was lifting up and it let go at the last possible second. Right about when I was pulling it out of the water. That's frustrating. To be seeing the pull on the tension bar and then it to just drop. Oh well, nothing I can do about that. That one felt like it was too far out, so that's why I reeled it in a little bit and then reopened the bail. If I set the rod down, I can pick it back up, hopefully without impacting a bite. I think rod 1 is actually sitting on the ground with how popped up it is there. I think the hook and the bait are sitting on the ground. touching bottom. I'd even say that if I pick it up. It doesn't. It's definitely not how the float normally sits. And I don't think there's actually a fish on either. We're close enough to the end of bream time. Let's go relocate and try and go carp fishing. I might be able to carp fish there as well too, but had some better luck down at the bridge, so I'm gonna head over. All right, so with the feeder rod, let's take the feeder cage on with our best crucian gibble mix and sweet dough. And I want to put my walrus stick back in 2. Put on the size 1 hook with sweet dough as well. I want a depth of 1 meter, which it already was. Good. I'll toss that one out there. I don't want it that. Rod 1. I also want sweet dough on. And I want to bring the depth back to probably 1 1/4 just to see, but I think that's too deep here. Again, I don't want it that far out. Yeah, that'll work at 1 1/4. 125 centimeters, however you want to look at it. $38.9 on bait harvesting. 40 unlock. Does 40 unlock? How did she just porridge? Come on, get in the net. Nice, 1 kilo crucian. Seeing a bite over here on 2. That's why I was yelling at the fish to get in the net. For those that have watched long term, I do still have the 2 Hella sticks flipped from how I was fishing them for a long time. I've got the fluorocarbon lying on rod 1 and the mono lying on rod 2 here. Or fluorocarbon on the left rod and monofilament center rod. Monofilament, I think I've got a leader. I do not have a leader. Monofilament on feeder rod. Interesting. I've got a leader over on my other account. I figured I'd bought one here. Whoops. Honestly, fishing carp and things like that, I don't know if you really need the leader. Kind of help with the though. Gonna have to look into acquiring a leader. What a leader is it's a piece of line at the end of your line between the line in the hook. And if you get a fluorocarbon leader, it's basically invisible line. So it does kind of move a little bit where your hook's going to lie and things like that. But also smart in that if you hook a big fish, more than likely you're going to break your leader and lose your hook rather than your entire 100 meters of line. 39% on bait harvesting. You can't even make cottage cheese dough until you get unlock quarry because you can't buy cottage cheese until quarry. Not really a reason to try and power that much. Pea porridge isn't a bad idea. See the point? My phone's ringing real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm back a couple minutes later. Sorry about that cut there. My mom had a medical procedure today. She was calling me to tell me that everything's going fine and that she's actually going to bed. She didn't get a lot of sleep last night. All getting prepared for that. So, very good news, but wanted to talk to her real quick. So, didn't really miss anything. I wasn't even paying attention to the game. So, I don't know if I missed any bites or anything. Ah, missed that one. Angry. I am a little bit tired myself. I didn't sleep super well last night. So I think I said this in another episode, but I don't know if it came through or not. I might have been the one that I lost audio on, but working on putting up a fence this weekend. And we had a lot of rain, so I was pushing a metal T-post into the ground and evidently put the blade part of the T-post through the bottom of my shoe and into the bottom of my foot. I had no idea I'd done it um, at the time, but Saturday night my foot started hurting, and that's when I realized what happened. Even checked my sock, and you had no idea that that happened from my sock point of view. Of course, that's caused my foot to be a little bit sore over the past couple days. It's where it is, it's causing my big toe to arch upward on a regular basis. So that's wearing out, using muscles in ways that muscles don't usually get used. So that's a little bit sore. It's kind of on the directly below bottom of my where your big toe connects to your foot. A little bit more on the foot pad there, but it's where a lot of balance happens, at least. A lot better today than it was yesterday, but also I walked around a lot more today, getting my mom into her medical procedure. While I was waiting for her, I ran out and did some shopping all too, so a little bit worn out from that. And I'm walking weird because of that, so my knee and my ankle is a little bit tired. Got some more red worms there, I saw. Actually surprised how slow it is over here today. Try and get these a little bit closer. Little lilies here and see if that helps. In the past, we've just pulled fish after fish after fish after fish after fish out of over here. In fact, the bottom rod has done nothing. Ground bait on it. I will say a lot of times at Old Burg, I will only fish the evenings and fish bream. Didn't really have the time to do that today. My brain's starting to wear out, so I'm going to go ahead and pack everything up, call it a day here. Wasn't the best day. We did get some good bream. Probably have about... Here's why the bottom rod did nothing, is it was hooked on the ground, I think. And the bottom rod is now snagged too, so I'm just going to leave it there. Stupid. Honestly, the 8 bream, we're probably looking at 40 to 50 silver. I think. I'm hoping. Tomorrow I'll probably aim to do a bit of a longer float fishing episode. I know I've cut a few of them short recently. May try and do a couple of nights of bream fishing. I think I accidentally split clips here as well too, so I'm gonna have to stitch them together to upload them to YouTube. Not a big deal, but it just means more time for me, so want to get that done before it gets too late. Still getting used to time change as well too, where everything's an hour earlier than it was in the past, I guess. I don't know how. The weird part is, you know, it's 9:30 at night now, but on Saturday this was 10:30 at night. All right, let's just look at the cafe, see if there's anything there. Didn't get eyed. Tiny roach, 3 1-kilo bream. We definitely got that. So, it's going to be a decent day. Without the fish market, or with just the fish market, 63 silver. But that bream order's 50 by itself. So, this is going to be a decent day. So, it was 3 of them. So, 49, 40 there. 7 1-kilo crucians. We only got 1. No rough, no white bream. Tiny. So 49 silver there, another 46, so 105, I think. If I'm doing my math right. Not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. So we're up to 314 silver. Like I said, probably the next thing I'm probably going to look at is getting some some fluorocarbon line for this rod, and we'll go from there. It's interesting. I just realized I've got 89 meters of this line. My guess is I used something that I'd already broken. Oh, that's a walrus stick. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I looked at the bolognese rod. It does have 100 meters on it. So that's kind of my next thought of what we may buy. But I appreciate everyone watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tight lines. Hope you all have a good one. Bye-bye for now.